during that huge run, and how did that change down the stretch? How were they able to kind of get normalized?
I thought we started playing for each other much more. Like, it wasn't just about individual defense. It was about, like, I see the mismatches. I'm going to rotate there, and everyone was flying around. So I think that once naturally you start playing that style of basketball and you're playing for your teammate next to you, then all of a sudden balls start bouncing your way that aren't bouncing, for you earlier in the game. You get calls that you weren't getting earlier in the game. It's just the way that sports works with momentum and the team that's playing harder and playing more together. And unfortunately, it took us 3 quarters to get there. But it was good to see. I told the guys I was proud of the way they fought. They stuck with it. It's a great learning experience for a lot of those young guys. I mean, if you get down like that in college, the game's over for the most part. But in the NBA, it's never over. So it was good for them and a lot of them were on the floor. A lot of the young guys were on the floor when it was happening. So it was a great experience for them to be part of that and to see that in the NBA, whether you're up 20 or down 20, it's always a game.
We've talked a lot about Jordan Clarkson and him having to make that adjustment. From last season to this season with how he plays his game with this unit. What have you seen him be so effective in all 3 of these games really off the bench?
Well, what I'm most proud about with Jordan is he's sticking with it because he was struggling in training camp. He was struggling in the preseason. And he just kept working and working. He keeps working, and obviously he's had some nice, successful nights so far since the season started. But it's like anything. You get more reps at something, you get more comfortable with it. You trust in what we're trying to do, and he's naturally a scorer anyways. So he'll find his own shots throughout that. But it is good to see him start to come out the other side of the struggles he was having in the preseason.
Coach, that lineup of Randall, Kuzma, Clarkson, Ingram, and Josh, they kind of really ignited that run and were able to get you guys the lead. What did you like about the way they played?
Well, I was just searching for line. I mean, I was going up and down the bench looking for guys that were going to play at that level. And, we had some guys tonight I didn't think they were mentally or physically ready for it. So I kept making subs, trying to find a group of guys that were going to compete the way that we want to compete, and that was it. So that's probably the first time that line has ever played together, honestly. But they all 5 of them were fighting. All 5 of them were talking and engaged and making plays. But yeah, I mean, that's what it takes to win at this level. You gotta be willing to play that hard, and that group was.
Coach, can you talk specifically about Julius Randle, just his game tonight?
Yeah, I thought it was his best game so far. I think like any player in this league, I think he's been a little frustrated that he wasn't starting. And tonight he looked to be his energy level just seemed right tonight. I told him, look, it's not you not starting, like, that's our decision. So don't let those thoughts weigh you down. Like, when you play is our call. So try to do your best, even if you're angry, to go in with a clear mind. And I think he's, like any young player, free agent year, started most of his career. All of a sudden he's coming off the bench. That's not easy to handle. So I thought tonight, though, his energy just coming out in our shoot-around today was, like, as soon as I saw him, I noticed. I said something to our assistants. I said, Julius looks way, way better tonight. And I thought it showed in his game, and he was out there just trying to make plays and making winning plays and playing unselfish. So that was good to see.
Coach, the group that he had mentioned, Alex here had mentioned, you pulled the plug on at first. Brandon, was it because he had his 5th foul, and then you put in Lonzo. and you took out Hart at some point and put in KCP. Was it you felt like maybe they were losing the energy or losing that connectivity?
Well, yeah, Brandon got his 5th foul, so we went away from that. In that type of game, I feel like Lonzo could be really special. Like we're small, we're playmaking, we're making them rotate. Obviously, we're giving up size on one end, but we're trying to make up for that offensively on the other. And obviously, they put in Holiday, who's one of the best on-ball defenders in the league. So once they got him on JC, we were using JC to run everything. We wanted a second ball handler in there to play make, depending on who Holiday was going to guard. So that was kind of that decision. And then Josh hasn't played much since his injury. He's played a little bit, hasn't even really practiced much. So I just, with 3-4 minutes left, we only had one timeout. I couldn't call timeouts to kind of get these guys rest. He looked a little tired. KCP was having a really good game, and he's obviously done it before in this league. He's hit big shots in his career, so it was getting, a guy out there that has experience in those situations.